Welcome back, episode 8. And we are going to be talking about gratitude.
Being thankful.
That's right. 'Tis the season. It's almost Thanksgiving. This is what we do, right? But I think our focus today is that it's not seasonal, that it is a calling on our lives. And I know you have a scripture that you want to share.
Yeah. It's just First Thessalonians 5:18 says, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you."
Yeah.
And that word "everything" was just kind of jumped off. Like in everything, give thanks. Everything.
Yeah.
Car messed up, give thanks.
Yeah.
Struggling, maybe a physical health issue, give thanks.
Yeah.
Kids going crazy, give thanks. Stuff give thanks in everything.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting, even though that feels like it's a challenge, is that there is something in everything that we can be grateful for.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe your health is not doing great, but you're still breathing.
Yeah.
Maybe for us in our specific situation, we've had a hit after hit after hit financially, and we're trying to take our kids on vacation. So it doesn't feel good, but we're still going on vacation.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's healthy. Finances come and go.
Yeah.
Money has wings. That's for sure. But in everything, there is something to be grateful for.
Yeah. And it also, it really is about perspective.
Yeah.
To your point. Like, even though things can be happening that's so messed up, in the midst of that, my perspective could be, yes, my kids are healthy.
Yeah.
Right? Like those thoughts of perspective to say, this is messed up, but God.
Yeah.
This isn't going my way, but God.
Yeah. I think that in marriage, I'm sure I felt like this before we were married, but we've been married so much longer than we haven't that I am going to just reflect on this time. But so many times when I might not be feeling it or my headspace is wrong or whatever, but I know you're trying or you're putting forth effort or you are loving me well, I go back to those moments, right? Of just, or maybe it's when we're arguing and I'm very bothered, but I have to choose that my response is mine. And I have to recognize that I'm responsible for that.
Yeah.
So I go back to the one thing that I know I'm grateful for. And this is just a head moment, not a heart moment. Right.
Yeah. And even in that perspective as well is, if my perspective is to give God thanks first, if I park there first, that helps me straighten out the perspective for whatever my attitude towards you is. Or to your point, like, if I can filter, okay, God, I'm so thankful for my wife, because I am. You know what I mean? You do so much for our family, for me. Like, for me, that's easy. It's always working out the emotional part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I think
I definitely know what you mean.
That kind of hinders perspective towards thankfulness. Like, I know to be thankful for God. He created me. He destined me for purpose. Everything God puts his hands to prospers. Right. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. You're fearfully, like,
you know the right thing.
Yeah. Like for God, that's easy because he's so good. Fleshing it out to say, I'm thankful for everything else.
Right.
That's the challenge in being thankful. So a tweak of perspective, helps filter.
Yeah. What's right in front of you. That is always the case. Right. Like, yes, I know this, but I have to work these emotional bugs out to get to the right thing. Yeah. Right. I'm just choosing it, or also recognizing, like today I said to you, I think we are under this attack that is physically manifesting itself. And I say that laughing because it helped me put my perspective back into place. Yeah. So to your point, my perspective needed to change because it wasn't so personal. Right. It wasn't like, oh, we just spent X amount of dollars last month. We just spent X amount of dollars yesterday, 2 weeks ago, today. That's all real life examples. Yeah. That's hard to see because it feels like a hit. But when you recognize that, wait, spiritually, this could be aligning, and this actually is comforting to me because none of this matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And even to your point of even like the Thanksgiving season, like knowing Thanksgiving is coming, culture rev themselves up to be thankful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true.
Right? Like you will see all the posts, all the commercials, right?
Yeah.
Like
everyone wants to be thankful now.
Yeah. What about every season being thankful?
It's true.
You know what I mean? And it kind of that revving up continues through Christmas, right? Like I'm thankful in Thanksgiving, then thankful Christmas, then thankful New
it's a new year, and then
right?
it's done.
Yeah, it's like crickets. You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah.
What if we can say starting January 1, I'm thankful?
Yeah. And I'm actually having this thought that this is not something we discussed, but that there might be people listening that are like, I don't have a Thanksgiving issue, a thankful heart problem. But the truth is, it really does speak to all the bad attitudes, the negative thought processes, the right, like just choosing to not love one another well. It's in every one of those parts. Because if you go back to gratitude, that it does change everything. It's like a filter in your circumstances.
For sure. And let's say that individual might not have a thankful issue.
Yeah.
There's layers to thankfulness. Do you feel the same way about your enemy?
Right.
Like that's the test if you have a thankful issue. Are you thankful that you get to love your enemies? Pray for those who despitefully use you.
Maybe the person's me. I'm also unsure.
Right.
Am I thankful for that?
Right. But in what? No, everything give thanks. So
and everything with an asterisk except for your enemy.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't say that, right? Yeah. So I think that's so key because as humans, because of life, it sucks the gratitude out of us. Just turn on the news. Like you talking about a spirit of anxiety or depression or just scroll for 5 minutes. It's so negative. Like it squeezes and sucks or it attempts to, for some, to squeeze the gratefulness out of you.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think too that they're kind of hand in hand. If you are in a place of worry or anxiety, once you lock into gratitude, it changes.
Yeah.
So I'm not an anxious person, but today, as I crunched the numbers for the 972nd time, I was feeling anxious. And so I was even like doing this whole breathing thing.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, this is how I'm about to sing myself Kumbaya. I need to get in a better mental space. Right. Yeah. But the first thing I realized when I was choosing that God literally told us to be anxious for nothing, that actually brought gratitude to my heart.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to tell us to do something that he's not a part of.
Absolutely.
And therefore, and just he's the peace.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so, absolutely. So perspective can hinder or add to being grateful.
Yeah.
I think another thing that can hinder or add to is our words.
Yeah.
Think about in the season, right? Just keeping it 100, what we just been talking about. Like we've been dishing out dough, like that's money for some people don't know.
Like it's pizza in the Crawford house.
Yeah, like it's slices of pizza. And like it don't matter if you got an emergency fund. Once you go above the emergency fund because of stuff, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So how do I, and I'm just retrospecting, like real-time processing, how does my language help me stay thankful?
It's true.
Right? Like I could still say, you know what, God, despite ABC, I'm still thankful.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can put myself in shoes in my childhood.
Yeah.
Other people's like.
No, I agree.
I mean, thank God we had the finance to be able to just pay cash and not no credit cards and right? Like, so my language is, God, man, this sucks, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for blessing us to be able to take care of this issue.
And you know what my language is? Father, multiply the fish and the loaves, which is kind of funny, but also it really is sticking to the word.
Yeah.
So yes, you are speaking out of a place of gratitude, of choosing Thanksgiving. I'm speaking out of a place of, this is what the word says, so I'm going to stand on it. But that also brings me to the same place of like, you knew this was going to happen. He's not surprised. It's not like he's shocked to hear what we're going through.
Yeah.
So I think gratitude comes in different ways.
Yeah. And even physiologically, like the science tells us, your body responds to how you think. Mm-hmm. Right. So if we allow that anxiety to weigh on us, or that fear, mm-hmm. right, or those attempts to take control over things you have no control over, mm-hmm. like that weighs on you physiologically. Like you just want to go curl up in the bed and chill. Like when you have a day, we just talking about with our producer Kev, shout out to Kev. But when you have a day, it's like, you know what I mean? And like sometimes it make you want to park.
Yeah.
But if you get moving and being grateful, and also there's another verse that says, rejoice in all things. Yeah. So rejoice in thankfulness, gratefulness. I mean, they the triplets. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you get the moving and being rejoicing, that mood helps you, right? It's like, no, anxiety, I ain't wearing you today. No, I'm putting on something else. No depression, I ain't wearing you today, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, no, you ain't getting no swag. Ain't no swag of depression. I'm gonna be rocking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And or for me, sometimes like I'm 43 and I still love cartoons. Like I still park in the space where animation, like that brings a joy to me. Like storylines of heroes and justice and of course, prayer, worship. We had worship on before our podcast and worshiping and praying. And yes, that's my number one giving. But this world's so messed up. Yeah. Get as much in your repertoire, as you can. It's true. So perspective brings thankfulness and gratefulness. Mm-hmm. Your words brings gratefulness and thankfulness. You're even physiologically moving, right?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's probably been like a year and a half ago that we started consistently working out again. Mm-hmm. You're
a little more than me, but yeah.
That's okay. You're in it with me. Yeah. And this is your accountability moment. Don't give up. Stay with me. No, you've been great. And I think that's a big part of it. Obviously, when we're doing that, we need someone to be consistent with us, mm-hmm. right? But I think for me, it's actually been a great challenge because I have to still choose no matter what's happening in the day. Yeah. We actually have this instructor that says it. That on your best days, this choice to work out is just a small piece, right, of your day. Yeah. But on your worst days, this choice to work out actually takes you so much further because mm-hmm. your mind is at peace. Your body gets what it needs, right? The choice to show up is even encouraging to ourselves, mm-hmm. right? There are many times, especially if it's a 5:30 a.m. class, that I'm like, well, I'm here. I might have been half asleep getting here, but now I'm here, so I can't turn back, right?
That's good.
But even that, I've just did this women's conference, right? Mm-hmm. This women's retreat, and we talked about that. How does your mind actually align? Because it's funny, a lot of doctors that don't know Jesus wouldn't necessarily agree with what we're talking about with faith and words and right, that all works hand in hand. But this has been something they've proven. Yeah. They've watched happen. What's the whole rice experiment?
Oh, yeah.
People need to know. Tell
years ago, there was a scientist, I believe he was from Asia, and he took 2 jars of rice and he put them in 2 different spaces. The one jar, every day he would speak negative words to it. He would say, you're ugly, you're not fluffy, you're not white enough, like sad. Every day. Then the
I don't know why it actually made me sad that I remembered all
the rice isn't real. No.
Correct.
And then the other jar of rice, he would say, man, you're fluffy, you're white, you're beautiful. Mm-hmm. And over time, the negative words that were spoken began to the rice began to change. It was brown. It was dying.
It was dying. It was ugly.
And then the other rice began to be fluffy and white. So then he thought he was tripping. So he did it again. But this time, I also
would have thought he was tripping.
This time he did it with water.
Yeah.
So he spoke to water, ugly, milky, murky, whatever. Mm-hmm. Then he took the other jar of water and spoke life to it. Mm-hmm. And then he froze it. Yeah. And when he went under the microscope to look at the crystals, right? The makeup of the water, the crystal makeup of the negative water, so to speak, was all jagged and, ugly. And then he looked under the microscope under the water he spoke life to. They were like shaped like diamonds and straight edged and, because we know there's power in our words. Yeah. Right.
It's true. And your tongue has the power to speak life and death over you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you have, that's what you speak, that's what you're going to have.
Yeah.
So I love that, because this is just to us, a random scientist, a random story. Yeah. But this happened, and there's the proof behind it.
Yeah.
And even when our circumstances might not look like it, the evidence is coming. We can't always see it. That's why we are called to walk by faith and not by sight.
Yeah.
But one day you'll look back and you'll see what he's done.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because whatever season you're in, you're not going to be in it forever.
Yeah.
Right. So you might as well take a language that's going to paint a beautiful edge over you, or right. Take a posture of saying, man, God, you know what, man, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have to get brakes all around, but thank you. I have a vehicle.
I'd have to get 2 new tires,
but thank you. I have a vehicle.
That's right.
Might have to buy South Carolina tags. Is ridiculous,
it sure
but
is.
Thank you. I have a vehicle.
We're working out our gratitude
I know,
actually
right?
in real time.
We process in real time. Like, because a new season gonna come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to make sure in this season I'm speaking life, so I can enter the next season full of being thankful and being grateful.
It's true.
You know?
It's good.
And that language matters. And think about this. And that experiment was over really non-essential things. Right. Not that water and rice isn't essential, but they're not made in God's image.
Yeah, they're not a human being.
Yeah, yeah. So how much more knowing if we say, greater is he that is in me than he that's in the world. God, I'm thankful that your spirit is in me. I'm thankful that I can hope.
Yeah.
I'm thankful I'm alive. I got 4 limbs. Like that language produces life.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
So yeah, it's thankful season, Thanksgiving. And I even in literally just saying Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Giving brings thanks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like whenever you take consistently, it is a picture of death. Whenever you give consistently, it's a picture of life.
Yeah. You know what I think about? Again, 'tis the season. But the story of that turkey on that Thanksgiving table, the turkey doesn't taste the same when it's been given to you, right? And it just makes me think about it. It's true. There seems to be, this isn't always the case, but a lot of times, oftentimes, there's something attached to the gifts that are given.
Yeah.
When you get to be the giver and not always the receiver, you can do that with a heart that is grateful. You can do that with a heart that just wants to honor God.
Yeah.
So it is different.
Yeah, that's so good. And to your point again, this posture, I thought it is a heart posture.
Yeah.
It's a heart issue.
Yeah.
Like in your attitude and your words stem from the motive of your heart. For what? Out of the flow of your heart, the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
And we say this all the time. Your attitude is a fragrance. So what do people smell when they come around you? You know?
Yeah.
I want to be thankful. I want to choose to be thankful. And it ain't easy.
Right.
It's hard when you in your own box of situations, when you in your own box of circumstances, sometimes you don't want to come out.
Yeah.
Like it's comfortable. You know what I mean? But not when you serve God.
Yeah.
You can't find one example of a patriarch in the Bible who stayed in the box and God prospered them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good.
What an example. Even when you read that Hall of Faith, I can't imagine Daniel not responded in the lion's den the way he did. I can't imagine Joseph responded in the hole, then in being accused of something, then in prison the way he did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Then go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Jesus, for the joy that was set before him.
Yeah.
Of course, joy, we know this, and Thanksgiving and happiness, there are all the differences between those, but still joy brings happiness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Joy brings a heart of thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The joy that was set before him, he endured the cross. So there are things we're going to go through, but a heart of thanksgiving and a heart posture set on, this is what my call is. This is what I desire to do to please God.
Yeah.
There is always, even when we're enduring some things, there's always joy on the other side of it.
Yeah. And even to that point in that verse with Jesus, at least make gratitude your end goal. Like, let's say you struggling in the box of that negative attitude or whatever circumstances you're in, at least say, you know what? I might not feel thankful right now, but that is my goal. So one way or the other, it might not be at 4:38, but at 4:58, I'm being
get there.
Like just the human part of us.
Yeah.
And I think maturing and being thankful is that time slot gets shorter.
Yeah.
Right. When I was a shorty, I would carry on the attitude for 3 days about something. You know what I mean? Now that I'm married, Jesus has changed my life. I got kids. Well, that I got to bring that.
Too much to do.
Yeah. That gap got to get shorter. Why? Because your attitude, my actions affect one another.
Yeah.
It affects 4 other human beings. It affects our ministry, the people we call to lead and pour into, and even each other. Right. So that I'm making gratitude my goal. And as I mature, my goal is to make sure that attitude is shorter.
Margin of error. That's right. So you have 4 days left, right? We have 4 days left to jump on the bandwagon of Thanksgiving. I'm not dissing it. I'm not knocking it. It's just interesting that, this is the time in lieu of this season that we do that. Yeah. And I think it's a great thing. But it also should be something we practice every day. So if you're not doing it, this is the time.
Yeah.
So today, what are you grateful for?
Oh, man.
This is a trick question. There's a right answer.
I know. Well, of course, I'm thankful for the Lord. Of course.
Well, we all know that. That's
but hey, you got to say it. Speak those things that be not.
No, what? You are thankful for the Lord.
No, I know. I am. I'm thankful for you.
Okay, that's the
I
end.
I knew that's what you wanted. That's why I said the Lord first. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for our home.
Yeah.
Seriously, I never in a million years thought the Lord. I knew we could, but just to be experiencing the blessing of our own home after renting for 13 years. I'm grateful for our vehicles. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful I get the hope. I can believe. I can endure. Man, I'm grateful for my in-laws. I'm even grateful for my brother-in-laws. That's saying a lot, you know. No, I'm thankful for Deezy and Ollie. All right, I'll stop now.
No, I love it. I love the heart of gratitude. I was just gonna say I am thankful, of course, all those things. I echo that, but also for this and just the opportunity that there are still people listening. I know, right? Appreciate you being here, and this opportunity, this space that God has given us to love on people well. So, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yo, I guess our challenge, we never give one, but make a list or kind of do what we just did. Just say some things.
Check it twice.
Yeah. Make a list and check it twice. Just maybe express to your spouse, significant other, maybe even your children that you're grateful. It's one thing to feel it. It's one thing to express it to those you love. So at Thanksgiving, I'm like, yo, Dad, I'm thankful for you. Yeah. I'm going to tell my father-in-law that this Thanksgiving. Yeah. My brother-in-law's, man, I'm thankful for you.
Spoiler alert.
Right. So that's our challenge. Be thankful. And yo, thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Tell a friend, a neighbor, coworker, homie. Subscribe. We're on YouTube, Covenant Culture Podcast, Spotify, and Apple iTunes. Wow. We just got to do it.
Wow.
What up?
Love you guys. Yeah. Thanks for being here.
All right, here we go. Bam, 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 bam. Hey. Woo. Episode 8, Thanksgiving.
See you later.
Peace.